Okay, so how do we draw our polymers? So obviously the simplest thing to do is start with your monomer. So if we were doing an ethene, we would start with drawing out our ethene with its double bond in. Now note there's a big N here before the ethene. This is to tell people there are lots of our monomer, okay, because obviously we need lots of them to add together to make a monomer. So we would put a little N in front of monomer to show that we're going to make a polymer from it. You then, remember, you're breaking the double bond and linking them together, so your polymer should have no double bond showing up in it. So you would end up, if we had lots of ethenes, with a chain that looks like this, and obviously the etc means it carries on. So this would be one ethene monomer, and they've all linked together to form that long chain, like our lovely Molly-Mod long chain. Now obviously this would take, you don't want to draw hundreds of thousands of these, so we can simplify this to do what we call a repeat unit, where we take the monomer and show how it repeats. So our repeat unit would look a little bit like this. We've taken the section that would be our ethene, so basically we've taken the double bond out of the monomer, drawn the extension bonds, so these are very important to draw, and they are showing that it carries on beyond this. The bracket tells you that this is our little unit, and the N tells you there are lots of these repeat units. Okay, now if you were asked for 3 repeat units, you would just put 3 of them in a row and bracket it the same way. So there's 1 ethene, 2 ethene, 3 ethene. Now the most common mistake with the drawing polymers that comes in back to our propene, guys. So if you remember, with our propene, we had our chain, and breaking my ponds off. We had our chain and we had our group sticking outside the chain. Now lots of people forget that the double bond is the only bit that forms the chain. So we end up with that kind of error happening. So you've got to remember, you are linking by the double bond only. That means any carbon that's not part of the double bond cannot join the chain. It goes above or below it. At GCSE, you'll only be asked to draw it for propene, so you just have to remember the CH3 sticks out. So if our propene was our monomer, so this is our propene, 3 carbons, 1 double bond, we've got lots of them, we would form this. Okay guys, so we would form the CH3 sticking out of the chain, only the 2 carbons from the double bond forming our chain. So if we had 2 of these, we would make it like that too. And our repeat unit would look like this. Our CH3 is sticking out of the chain. It would not end up with 2 repeat units, 6 carbons in a row. Even though we started with 6 carbons, remember this group cannot join the chain. So because it's saturated, it cannot end up with a repeat unit that looks like this. Your repeat unit will only ever have 2 carbons going across it. Okay, so it will always have 2 carbons in the extension bonds, then everything else will stick out above or below it.